Well, hey, neighbor, it's me, Angie. Come on over. We're out in the yard again today. It's 88 degrees here in Mississippi. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to do a little short video after I do the neighborhood chat, and it'll probably come out before my neighborhood chat video does. But it's time for our neighborhood chat. I did a live this morning. I think it went really well. I really enjoyed it, especially after getting the 2 teeth pulled over here yesterday that I thought that was not going to go as well as it did. Though I prayed about it and said, I just want it to go the way that it's supposed to go, and it went great. He knew exactly what he was doing, and within 5 to 7 minutes he had both teeth out, and in 20 minutes I was on my way home. I love it when a plan comes together, especially with a dentist. When somebody's fooling with your teeth, I don't like that. Anyway, whoever was at my live this morning, thank you. I really enjoyed it. I love it when my community comes in and adds to my channel and their opinion and their thoughts. For the last couple of weeks, I've had 5 questions each week for us to answer in my live chat, just random questions, which I thought would be fun. Nothing serious, nothing major that you would have to reveal, that you may not want to reveal. And that's what I want to share with you today. Why are we wanting to keep hiding things that it really wouldn't matter to somebody else, but it's such a great thing in our mind that we can't reveal to people? That we either care about what they're going to think about us, or we don't want the persecution that comes with it. We don't want the acknowledgement that might come with it, the attention. We don't want people to feel sorry for us. We don't want people to make fun of us. So we just don't reveal things that, if we actually would reveal them, we would probably be set free of a lot of things that we deal with on a daily basis. Everybody has a secret. Everybody lives with a secret. Yours may not be as great as someone else's, but still, it's a secret. Something that happened to you as a child, something that you did that you don't want anybody to know you did. And now there are some things that we should keep to ourselves. Like, for example, I don't think that if you had an extramarital affair and you're married and your husband or wife never found out about it, I don't think you should be shouting it to the rooftop, telling everybody about it. If you've asked forgiveness for that and it was just a slip up, the lives that it could destroy if a family member knew about it would be a point of no return. So there are things you have to be careful about sharing and revealing to certain people. Now, if you want to reveal that and you feel like you should, then I say go ahead. But you have to be very prayerful and meditate on it and think about it a while before you really share something that could potentially change someone else's life to the point of them not even knowing what to do with theirself after they find out. When I was growing up, I never really talked about not knowing my biological dad to anybody, except maybe one person. She knows who she is. Though I think my mother thought I talked to everybody about it, but I did not. She seemed to be willing to talk to other people about it before she would talk to me about it. But, that's all in the past, and I've forgiven her for that. And, we've moved on, and now it doesn't even really matter. I've met my biological father, and everything's okay, because that's all I really wanted to do anyway. Because if you are a person that doesn't know who your biological parents are, it's a void missing. At least it was for me. But once I found out, I was like, okay, the puzzle has been completed. I know now. I didn't care how bad this person was that had fathered me. I didn't care what he had done. I didn't care, you know, within reason. Now, I didn't want to find out that he had murdered 6 or 7 people. Now, don't get me wrong, that would have really devastated me. But I knew that he wasn't that type of person. But, you know, I met him and I found out the other side of who I am. And really, if you don't have that, I can understand where you feel a void in your life. But now that I've come through that and accepted it and moved on and really am fine who I am and know who I am today without having any hesitation of being embarrassed. And why I was ever embarrassed about it, I do not know, because I was a result of a choice that my mother and he made. I mean, I didn't have anything to do with the choice they made when they slept together. I mean, I was just a result of what happened. But I carried a lot of embarrassment and shame about that. And I don't now. I mean, because it's really no big deal. I mean, it was a big deal back when I was younger and, you know, in my teens and in my 20s and maybe up until the time I met him. But, you know, it's no big deal now. It's just water under the bridge and it's fine. But I'm here to tell you, if you're holding on to something that you think is this big secret that you can't share with anyone, I'm not saying go on YouTube and tell your deepest, darkest secret. I'm saying find someone to confide in. And I know it's hard. I mean, nowadays it is hard to find someone that you trust, that will keep what you say private and to themselves and won't share it with anybody. Because a lot of times when somebody finds out about somebody, they immediately want to go over and tell somebody else. Why? It's not their story to tell. They should let that person tell it, and they should feel honored that that person came to them and shared their greatest secret. I would never reveal someone's secret if they shared it with me and told me what they had suffered with or what they dealt with or what they were ashamed of or anything like that. I would never do that. Everybody's not like that. Doesn't mean they're a bad person because they can't hold water or keep a secret. It just means that's not the one that you need to confide in or share your innermost thoughts with. But I'm here to tell you today, once you let go of the secret, you will realize that it's not that big of a deal. If it's something like maybe you overeat and you can't control it. Maybe you lie and you don't know why. Maybe you're afraid of the dark. You think that's silly. You don't want to reveal that to anybody. What adult is afraid of the dark? Maybe there's something that somebody did to you that nobody else knows about, and you've never told anyone. But you can tell God, which God already knows it, but you can communicate with him how sad it makes you feel that you have to keep that inside. You don't. You can let it out. But I'm here to tell you, be careful who you tell things to on YouTube. Because I'm coming to you on a video. I come to you in a live chat. You've never been to my home. You've never sat down and physically been in front of me and reached out and shook my hand or been a part of my life or shared a day with myself and James here to see how we really live. So I can portray anything I want to on this camera and on my live chats. The only way you are sure that you know me is by how you feel about me. And, feelings are deceiving sometimes. I want to be authentic as I possibly can, and I think I am. Because what you see is what you get. I don't want to hide anything. There are things that I will not reveal because it's not necessary. Tomorrow Susanna is going to interview me on her channel. This may go out later than me being interviewed by Susanna. So I may have already been interviewed by the time this video goes out. But, she's going to ask me questions, and I told her there's nothing off limits. I will answer what you want me to answer. Because I know me, and I know if you judge me for the answers that I give with the questions that she asked me, then I know you're not my judge. I know that you do not determine my self-esteem or who I am. Some people don't like the way they look. Some people don't like the way they speak. They don't like the way they feel. They don't want people to know how depressed they are, how sad they are, how lonely they are. They don't want people to know that. But come out and just tell people who you really are. And you'll find that people will accept you more often than not because they don't want you to be phony. Somebody that's just pretending. And you can always, well, at least I can, pick those out in a crowd, because it's really an act anyway. We're all acting to some extent, We're not all being truthful about who we really are. Maybe because we haven't been asked, or maybe because we don't feel like we're important, or we matter, or what difference would it make? Well, you don't know what difference it would make, because what you actually are not telling could actually help somebody else. Because there's nothing that's hidden under the sun. Everything is really out there. It's just for you to say it out of your mouth. People think that hiding something is what should be done. I'm not going to tell this. I'm going to keep this a secret. But years go by, maybe years, weeks, days, months, but it'll eventually come out, or it will eat you from the inside out, especially if it's something that you're so ashamed of that you can't talk about. But until you get that out, you're not going to be able to pour the goodness that you deserve to have, the peace. You can't have peace when you're running from a secret, or you're running from something you don't want anybody to know about. Not saying like you robbed a bank, or something, you broke some kind of law, or not something that bad, but just something that you think that you're ashamed of. Maybe somebody treated you wrong when you were a child. Maybe you were mistreated as a child. Sometimes corporal punishment wasn't like it is today. I mean, some children, corporal punishment was really, really bad when I was young. Some parents went overboard with it. Maybe your parent did, and you remember that. Maybe, it's just so many scenarios that I could go over in my mind that could possibly be a story that you might be holding back and telling. But be careful who you share it with. Now, I come on here on YouTube and I share my story because I want there to be someone out there that says, oh, wow, I wasn't the only person that has dealt with this. I'm not alone. I'm not by myself. Because for many years, I did feel by myself. I felt like nobody else understood me. Nobody else would even listen to me if I had anything to say. But there are people out there that will. And whatever age you were when you were hurt or devastated, emotionally, that's where you are now. You haven't had a chance to grow up. If you were hurt at 7 years old, you're probably 7 years old emotionally. If you were hurt as a teenager, you're probably still a teenager. That's why people say, why are they acting like that? They're an adult. Why aren't they acting like an adult? Well, something happened to them or you or whoever, and they can't, because emotionally they were stunted at that age and they can't get past it. Well, if they would talk about it, get it out in the open, they could get past it and grow up. But a lot of people don't grow up. Why do people not want to grow up? That's my question. Now, I admit adulthood is not easy sometimes, but it's so much fun. I love it. I've loved to grow older, and I love growing into a senior citizen, and I've just enjoyed the last 20-something years of my life maturing into the person that I've become. You know, I'm a grandmother now. I love that part. I love being a Gigi. I can't explain it in words, but it's just great. I'm at that point in my life, but if I was still where I was carrying baggage of not knowing who I was, and allowed all that hurt that I used to have not to come out and be healed, I would still be stunted back there at a young age and still acting like a teenager, and I'm in my 50s. I don't want that. I didn't want my children to see it. I didn't want my grandchildren to experience it. I wanted to be the age that I really am. I'm 56. I want to be 56. Now, don't get me wrong. I can have fun. I can enjoy music, and I can drink responsibly, and I can do anything I want to do as long as it doesn't hurt somebody else. And I intend on loving and living my life until the end of my existence here. So I want you to understand, stop hurting so much and stop hurting yourself so much, and tell someone. Just tell them, not for attention. You know, some people tell things, and you know the ones, they continually tell that same story all over again. But you tell it, and then you grow older in your emotions, and you are able to tell the story and use the words, I used to be like this. I can remember a time when I was very immature. That means you've grown out of it. You've matured. You're able to help someone else now. You're not basking in and just staying in the pacifier stage where, poor pitiful me, I went through this. I can't believe this happened to me. You know what? I can't believe that things happen to people either. I can't believe what's happened in my life has happened. But it did. And it's all in how we look at it and how we deal with it. Don't hang on to it. Soak in it for a moment. Absorb it. Realize it for what it is. And tell it goodbye. Send it away. Tell it it's not welcome in your life anymore. That you're going to grow and mature, and you're going to be there for other people, instead of always wanting people to be there for you. Don't be selfish. Don't be self-centered. Step out and become the example that you needed in your life. Be the parent that you need to be. Be the grandparent that you need to be. Be the friend you need to be. The spouse. You know, don't live your life in a place of self-pity and grief and sorrow. Live it in joy and peace and comfort. And you can get there. It's not going to be overnight, but you can get there. It wasn't overnight for me. But I got there, and I'm getting there. You know, it's still a process. Every day it's a process. And I wake up and I think about the positive things that's going to happen even though I know there's negative things around me. Am I just oblivious to the negative things? No. But I let the positive things override the negative. Now, I do have to pay attention to the negative things sometimes, like my illness. I have to pay attention to it or I would no longer be here. But I always try to find the positive out of everything that I do within a 24-hour period. And that's what I want you to do because you deserve it. And I love you, neighbor, and there's nothing you can do about it. So as we talk this neighborhood chat, let go of the secret that you've been holding on to. Just let it go. Find someone that you can tell it to, confide in. And with that being said, neighbor, like, share, subscribe, ring that bell, and don't forget, I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. Bye, neighbor.